why it's important to have brand identity and unpacking all of that. Good evening and welcome.
Hi Nina.
How are
Thank you
you?
for having me. I'm good, thanks.
Thank you so much for being here. As I mentioned, you wear so many capes: stylist, brand, creative directing. You have so many art forms. Speak to us about, finding your niche, which is, and also how finding your niche helps you with building your brand identity.
Yeah. Before I had to, find my niche, I had to learn or discover what I'm passionate about and just things that I'm really interested about, things that I would do even without, getting paid. So the first thing I did was change my mode of studies. I used to study accounting, and as a creative, I never saw myself as an accountant. So I switched to marketing, which is something that I'm also very passionate about because I'm into events, into brand management, and with marketing, it was easier for me to do all these things and still study marketing and enjoy it, and at the same time the things that I do on the side, such as creative directing, brand management, styling, which all come naturally to me. So I had to find what I'm passionate about and go into that lane.
So you said the first thing to do is find what you're passionate about and then build from there.
Yes, absolutely.
You're doing a lot of different things. So which one of all the stuff that you're doing is your actual passion?
Definitely creative directing, because that leads into everything that I do as a marketing officer and somebody that's into marketing. I also have to be creative. I have to come up with concepts. When I have to direct photo shoots, again, creative directing. When I have to style, you have to style somebody according to what they're doing, and it has to match the theme of whatever you are styling them for. So creative directing is the all-round thing that I'm passionate about that leads into all the other things that I do. Yeah.
Well, we've seen such a significant growth in the entertainment sphere, especially when it comes to influencing. What would you say, would you say that most influencers receive the attention that they deserve?
Unfortunately,
speaking on the Namibian scale now.
Unfortunately here in Namibia, not at the moment, because I also work with a lot of influencers. I know a lot of influencers, and I also look at what corporates are doing in terms of following trends. And within Namibia, you see a lot of influencers approaching corporates in terms of, and corporates only come to the influencers when they need something, but not because of how popular they are or not because of their platform, at least at the moment, and that's what I think. So most corporates, if they have a campaign that suits that specific influencer, they'll go to their influencer, but they wouldn't go because, Nina is doing product reviews of this product, of our product on Instagram. Let's, bring her in.
Right.
Let's see what else she can do. But they only go to the influencers when they need them. But
interesting
I think
point that you
growing,
make there, because if you look at our bordering neighboring countries, South Africa and also internationally, influencing has really become a career on its own.
It is.
Why do you think it is that corporates in Namibia haven't bitten onto what is actually a phenomenon when it comes to the digital marketing space?
I think it's because they don't know the power that these people have, the influence. That's why we call them the influence. They don't know the influence they have. And with South Africa, you can see even a YouTuber will go on YouTube, do something, and have, a lot of views, and then corporates will come or companies will come. But here, maybe we don't see that power because our views are not as many as theirs, but they will still sell the products. They will still, make people aware of the product, even though the numbers don't add up to the South African numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
You're also active in the, media space, and talk to us about everything that you do there.
In the media space, I'm currently the marketing officer of Nast FM. I'm also part-time presenter. I used to be a presenter, but no longer. We also have an entertainment podcast, talk show, more of a talk show on YouTube. Me, Michael Kayunde, and Shonan Gava, we're all in the media space, where we just talk about Namibian entertainment, the whole industry, and what happens in the industry. Also just educating artists on how they can go about, building their brands, releasing music, and everything industry related. I also do events, booking artists, hosting our own events. So yes, just some of the things that I do.
Busy man.
Yeah.
Speaking of artists, you also dabble into styling. So drop some names for us. Name drop there. You've worked with Gaza and who else? And how was that like?
I've worked with Gaza. I've worked with Cassidy Caron. I've worked with Nino Pequeno, who is the producer of Ompata, as well as his crew. I've worked with Kevo Maro. Who else? Okay, but yeah, just to mention a few, and that experience working with Gaza, I was actually surprised how chilled he is, how humble he is, and he also has a lot of ideas of what he wants. So, as creative director, I've learned to be very stern and strict, to just put my ideas across, because everybody has a lot of ideas. So sometimes we clash, but like, he's a very understanding person. He's easy to work with, so he understands when his idea doesn't work and when. So, but that was also a moment for me, because I only started really styling early last year, and I don't want that to be my ceiling, because I styled Gaza, and next thing I style Lioness, but people will say, oh, she's not as big as Gaza. But I want people to look at the actual work, look at the outfit, look at the work, not the person.
Right,
yes.
Right. Well, surely you've got a lot going on, and the year's just started. So what does your calendar look like for the rest of the year? What are your plans?
Definitely more events, because that's where the money is. Definitely more events. I'm looking forward to working with more artists in terms of just working on music videos. I haven't worked on a music video in a while. The last one I worked on was Cassidy Caron's Soft Life. And so I want to get into working on music videos as well. I've done a lot of photo shoots, but I want to stay laid back from that. Definitely more events, and as well as more styling work with different artists as well. And not only artists, but corporate as well. And last year I did one of my first corporate creative directing jobs, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that. So not only with artists or the media and the entertainment industry, I also want to go into corporate this year. So yeah,
fantastic.
We get there.
For a young person that may be watching this evening, that's listening to what you're saying, and realizing that getting into the creative directing space actually allows you to exercise so many other disciplines with under that umbrella as well, what advice do you have for them tonight?
You really have to be passionate about what you do, because you need to do a lot of free gigs to build your profile, because I had to really do a lot of 3 things to build my profile. I had to put my own money in order to help other people. So when you approach corporates, or when you approach somebody, even an artist, to work with them, they'll ask you, what have you done? So you need to have that profile or a background to say, this is what I've done. So be ready to, put in your own money, be ready to spend a lot of time on doing free gigs, and that's where passion comes in. So if you're really passionate about it, it won't matter much. So yeah, be ready to do a lot of free things and free work.
And that's how you build a portfolio?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Any plans to expand beyond the borders of Namibia?
Yes. I'm currently working with a friend of mine, DJ Dreas. He's based in SA, and we're working on some stuff. So I also just want to go and see how the industry works there, network, before we actually, fully start working there, or before I fully start working there. So I really am hoping that I can go to at least Cape Town sometime this year, and just build a network.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to that.
Well, all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, there you have it. We've also come to the end